Okay. Okay, so this door you can use for pretty much most disciplines of breaching, whatever method of entry you want to use. Use it for ballistic entry, use the ram, use shotgun or explosive entry, thermal lance or the quick ESA. Using the quick ESA, thermal lance or explosive breaching, you will take this part out. It attaches in this hole here, and on top, corresponding side, these two bolts. So just undo them, take this one out, and then for instance, for explosive breaching, you can put up like a piece of plywood or wooden beams you can use for the ram. You slide them in, tighten the bolt, and in the frame is a bolt as well. Slide them in, tighten it on the other side, use it for shotgun or ram, whatever you prefer. Using the saw, you use the steel beam, or you're using the thermal lance to cut it. Put it up like this, and you will have access with the saw, thermal lance. There's 4 of these holes, so you can have up to 4 beams coming through like that. These steel plates are detachable. Take them out and have the beams go there. Use the shotgun, for instance. You can use plastic, metal, wooden beams. You can see that the hinges are flush, so of course it's not meant to be breached. This is where the actual training door is hanging, so not meant to be breached this side, just leave it alone. So these holes is where the breaking parts, the expendable parts will be used. Yeah, just a quick brief on the quick ESA. Put it on in the start mode, choke it, prime it.
Yeah, 10 times.
That's enough. Just once you have a few strokes going like that, you can disengage the choke. And as on a chainsaw, there's no brake for the wheel, you see it keeps spinning. It's very important to have that in mind when the guys are using the saw. Once they're done cutting, the wheel will still spin and they might get keen getting through the door. Make sure the guy using the saw takes responsibility of that wheel. Place the saw in a safe position or put it to the ground or wherever to stop the wheel from spinning once it's done using it. I would recommend using alkylate gasoline. It's already mixed with oil and it's much cleaner, and it would, we're indoors now and any other location, the exhaust coming from the saw would be much easier on you than regular gas for vehicles. That's will make you feel a lot worse, especially have to use it in partly confined spaces, stuff like that. Of course, air quality will over time be an issue you have to deal with. When it comes to the blade, this is more of a construction kind of blade. They will wear out really quick. There's a particular brand, Brocco Rescue, manufactures them, like a diamond blade. They're good for cutting almost everything but wood, and they will last a really long time. Of course, always bring a tool when you bring the saw. And I don't know this particular saw, but get to know the ones you have. And if you carry them in an upright position, you might flood the carburetor and the fuel filter. And not only does it make it harder to get it started again, but it might be a potential fire hazard if you have any guys soaked in gas. It's not a good thing. I would recommend having a few different blades for different purposes, but Brocco is one I can recommend. Also, this one have a water inlet. Don't believe you will use it that much. Your versions not having the water inlet, and I would guess getting one of them would be equally good as the one with this one. It's made to decrease the amount of dust you create while cutting, but I don't think you guys would have the luxury of connecting into a garden hose that often. Also, one thing to consider is how you carry it. If you put it in a bag, or if you get a frame built for it, something like that, because it's quite heavy and it's quite bulky to carry. Bear in mind, there's no brake on the wheel, so keep spinning after you turn it off. It's quite heavy, not for you guys, but being quite heavy, let the saw work under its own weight. Cutting with a 45-degree angle, letting the chainsaw rest on whatever piece you're cutting. And once you get through, if you're cutting multiple, like two ones here, don't just drop it down on the next one, because you will mess up the blade. So be gentle when you go down to the next one, and you will have the blade last longer. When done, make sure you got to be aware of that spinning wheel, not to hurt anyone. Put it out of the way.
Gothenburg Ray.
Right. Alright, so this door is mainly for prying it open with all the mechanical tools. We got these 3 keyholes to indicate where the locking bolts will be placed. And we also got these replaceable steel pieces that would act as a lid once you close the door, and that you would need to manage going through in order to get the prying between the door frame and the door blade once you pry it open. So these are the pins that comes with it. There's a bunch more of them. They would go into these holes. You got 3 of them, one here and there. You put them in, and make sure you lock it with this wing nut, not to have them go back once you start working on the door. Simulating locking bolts, and having 3 of them, you would need to work your way from top to bottom or bottom to top, prying the door open. And as I said, getting the pry in here, in between the door frame and the door blade, and eventually prying it open. Not trying to get the pry to break the pin or the locking bolt, to drive either under or on top would be the path of least resistance. So you can of course adjust the difficulty by using up to 3 bolts. I bet most hardware stores would be able to replicate them. Otherwise, just talk this and
Some piece of air.
yeah, preferably getting it tight on both sides.
Out of the
Yeah.
wooden inner.
And can you show the way you're holding your hand? Where does it go?
Ale jak będą grubsze, to będą lepsze.
So
These go.
Albo nawet jeden taki, no.
these go like this, and just an Allen key and bolt on the other side, just replacing them. But these can be hammered back in place quite a few times.
Actually, it's not necessary.
Alright, so preferably wood that would sit tight, not loose like these. Sit tight, and this would indicate where to use the ram or the sledge. Important safety features, of course, when using the ram is to make sure that your wrist is clear of the door frame or the wall. Once you get it open and the ram continues with all that moving energy, not to have the door frame on your wrist and have an injury. So make sure that if you go through the door unexpectedly, your wrist will follow through the movement, not getting stuck in the door frame. This is of course just aluminium paneling. It's not meant to be breached. Neither is it meant to be hit with the ram on these steel beams. That's why we use the wood, to have something disposable. Once they get beaten up, we'll replace them. This is one risk of hurting yourself if you would use the ram like this. And imagine if the door would open now, and you have this ram pushing, hurting your wrist. So just go nice and slow and use it from this side. Don't use only your upper body like this. You will get more, just like when fighting, using your hip. You will get more power through a stroke. And as soon as the door goes open, just get out of the way. So this is an adjustable door frame. You will adjust the frame, undoing this one, undoing that one, and in that way you can move this profile, steel profile, right and left in order to fit that door you're using. You can then use just wooden beams, for instance, screw them with these brackets. 3 of them on each side, and just use whatever wood you find appropriate to get the door frame in on that expandable door you're using at the time. You can also adjust the height, of course, by using different size beams, and then it's whatever door you want to use this place. And of course, depending on what method of entry you're using, it will be different safety precautions to take. Managing what hazards you're creating on the inside and all that. side of breech, the breech points. Pretty straightforward. This setup enables you to have you can have a regular door here, and on the inside you can put up another, like a security fence, security guard, a net, anything to have layers that you need to breach. So you can use the wooden frame multiple times, so to speak, to extend the lifespan of the steel frame. I would suggest mostly working on the door itself, not working between the wood and the steel, as that replicating a solid wall like that. Save the steel. Using demos on any side of the container, and with the roof structure as it is, it will reflect a lot of pressure, so be really small charges. Yeah. So this is a door frame for window breaching. It's attached with 2 spring-loaded bolts on each side. You just take them out like this. Take the window frame down. Undo these. And then you place like a wooden frame or PVC frame, whatever you want to use, and whatever glass you want to use. Put it in place. Put the frame down again. Lock it tight. Like that. Then I would suggest starting out with the left pin, getting this one engaged first. Might need to lift it just a little bit. Yeah. One is in, and I would suggest securing this one. One important safety feature is if the guys get stuck with the pry breaching the window, that they don't come in between the container frame and the window frame and separate it. And these will break or come loose, and they can have the frame come down on top of them. That's also why we secure it up with this one.
Can you show how it's supposed to be secured?
It's supposed to be a strap on the other side.
Oh, okay.
Coming through, so just find a way to secure it, basically. And of course, it goes without saying, breaching glass, mind the safety hazards of having pieces of glass being left in the frame. And if guys start entering, make sure it's cleared out of glass. No sharp objects to get cuts on.
Hey, so the doors are 511 doors built in Sweden. So probably the best access for spare parts and anything else you need is to go directly to 511. I think it's best value for money for you guys.
I'm Tim Terry with 511 Tactical, here today to talk to you about our new entry tools. We've partnered with Sweden Entry Tools. This is Lars from SET. The first set I'll talk to you about is our lightweight patrol kit. This kit's going to be ideal for patrol officers responding to active threat situations. In this kit we'll have the multi-sledge and a multi-pry. The multi-sledge is actually 4 tools in one. We have a ram, sledgehammer, and a mini brake and rake, as well as a pry tool. And we have the multi-pry. That is our set tool for doing our pry work on the doors. This comes in a kit that is slingable for the officer to be able to patrol up to an entry point. The second kit's going to be our heavy kit, which is going to be for SWAT operation. In this kit, you're going to have the multi-breacher. It's going to give you a mini ram to set the multi-breacher, as well as do some light ramming duties, and then a edge bender to take care of security plates over locking points. This is going to come in a backpack that the operator is able to patrol up with. It is a fast release backpack if they have the to get the weight off their body to be able to operate. As you can see, we make a rapid entry with this tool set. Very lightweight, very fast. It reduces time on target for the breacher. You can visit 511tactical.com to check these tools out and get information.